Hi there. Welcome to my Facebook Live. This is Cheryl Richardson, and I'm here just a couple minutes early while I wait for people to join us. I'm going to wait just a couple minutes, and then today I want to talk about three things in particular that you can do to just not only survive this difficult time, but actually really use it to your advantage. One of the things I'm going to be talking about is tapping, and I'm going to do a tapping session here, just a mini tapping session that you can tap along with me. You can use it now, and you can use it in the future. You can come back and use it. We'll be sure to have timestamps so you know exactly when that begins. And I'm going to do it just for the kind of general anxiety that people are dealing with during this time. So it'll be a tool that you can use. And then I have a little assignment for you, an important self-care assignment that's not only going to benefit you, but is going to benefit other people as well. So let's start by just saying hello. Hi, Terry. Thank you for being here. And hi, Heather. I've missed you too. I'm glad that you're here. Feel free to post a comment letting me know where you're from. And so I'm going to cover three specific things first. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and answer your questions. So when we're done, whatever resources I talk about will get posted up here in the Facebook Live, in the timeline area. I'll have links to any resources we talk about, and I'll also have timestamps so you'll know when we end the three things and I start taking questions, you'll know exactly when that happens. So if you need to scoot out, you can do that and always come back afterwards. So if you have a question or a challenge you're faced with and you'd like some support, you might want to just type it out now someplace, copy it, and hang on to it. You can paste it into the comments section when we get to that point. So let me just say hi to a few people, and then I'll begin. Hi, Mary Beth. Thank you for being here. And Jen, welcome to you. Kat and Nina, welcome. Hi, Cindy and Lori and Megan and Pam, lots of people. Hi, Bruce, glad you're here. We always love when the men are here. We really appreciate it. Hey, Chris, has he called yet? You are one of these days I'm going to get your phone number, Chris. Chris has been following me forever. And every time she posts on Facebook or sends an email or whatever, she always ends with, he hasn't called, meaning my husband, Michael. It's just some kind of a joke. And it was, Chris, it was, we hope to be back at Circles of Wisdom once we move beyond this. Hey, Cheryl, welcome to you. And Pramil and Sheila, glad you're here, Sheila. Lovely to see your name. And Niroma and Carol and Debbie. I always feel like the woman from Romper Room saying, hello, Mary. Hello, I see you, Joe. Do you remember that? You have to be old enough to remember that. I do. Anyway, so as I was saying in the very beginning of this, there's three things that I'm going to cover today, and then I'll stop and read through some of your comments. I've got my phone here so that I can see them because they slide by so fast. I'll read through your comments, and if there are any questions that you have, I will also answer those, or any coaching that I can provide to support you. And as we go along, any resources I talk about will be posted in the timeline here. Afterwards, I'll go back and edit it, so you'll be able to find links to whatever it is we talk about here. So the first thing I want you to do is, a lot of people I've been speaking with and hearing from are talking about the anxiety that they're feeling during this time, understandably so, for a variety of reasons. We're not used to being at home. We're scared of the pandemic. The news does a really good job of keeping us informed and letting us know what it is we need to do, and also making us really anxious, depending on where you get your news and how often you check it. Also, I find that people who are very sensitive and empathic, like I'm a very sensitive person, seem to also be picking up on the collective anxiety. Carl Jung talked about the collective unconscious, right? There's this pool of what would I call it? Energy, consciousness that exists that connects all of us. It's sort of like let's think of it as a highway, like a cosmic highway that's running all kinds of information, both energetic information, emotional information, intellectual information. It's like a highway of information and a highway of energy. And we all tap into that highway off and on, whether you believe it or not, or whether you're conscious of it or not. And right now, as people's senses are heightened, and as we're in a state of hypervigilant and fight, flight, or freeze, a lot of us, the old parts of the brain are really working strong. What happens is we have a tendency to connect with this energetic highway, and we might start to feel the anxiety of the world or of our community, our town or city, wherever it is we might live, just the energy in the air, if you think of it that way. So, and then certainly just the fear of the unknown, like what's going to happen, how long is this going to last for, all of these things. I'm sure you have your own examples. You're stuck in the house with the kids and you want to pull your hair out. You're stuck in the house with your spouse or your partner and you're like, okay, we haven't spent this much time together and out in how long, and it's not comfortable. So just our worlds are so different now. So the first thing I want to talk about is it's like ridiculously simple, but actually quite powerful way to manage the anxiety or to deal with the anxiety. So what I'd like you all to do right now is to just take a moment, keep your eyes open. So just look at me here for a moment. And I want you to just tune into your level of stress or anxiety and give it a number on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being, I feel pretty good, I have no anxiety at all, and 10 being, I'm like on the verge of a panic attack, I'm really, really anxious. Notice where that number falls just right now in your body and your psyche. How do you feel right now? And just post the number here in the comments section. Just whatever number occurs to you based on your current level of anxiety. Okay? So once you have a number, smile. All right, good. Now, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to just close your eyes. That's all. Just close your eyes. And keep your eyes closed. And then just take a few breaths in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Just breathe. Keep your eyes closed. And what I want you to know as you keep your eyes closed is that just the act of closing your eyes causes your brain to begin making alpha brain waves. And alpha waves are the waves that your brain makes when you lay down to go to sleep. So the more alpha waves that get created, keeping your eyes closed, the more alpha waves that get created, the calmer the body becomes, just by closing your eyes. So normally during the day when our eyes are open and we're functioning, our brain is making lots of beta brain waves. And that's the brain wave of activity, beta activity, I think of it as. So the moment we close our eyes and you're keeping your eyes closed, the brain is saying, oh, it's time to rest. It's time to make more alpha waves. And the more it does that, the calmer the body becomes. And you don't even have to think about it. It just automatically happens. All right. Now, when you're ready, open your eyes and just notice. Tune in again to your body, to your energy system, and rate your stress level on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being no stress at all and 10 being lots of stress, lots of anxiety. And notice if the number's changed at all. And go ahead and put the new number in the comments section. So what you might discover is that the number, your level of anxiety has dropped a point or 2, maybe even more. If the longer you keep your eyes closed, the more alpha waves your brain makes and the calmer the body becomes. Now, there's a certain percentage of people, a smaller percentage of people, who will close their eyes for as long as we did and will actually start to feel more anxious. There's a couple reasons for that. Number one, when we close our eyes, we really are suddenly meeting ourselves. You know, we're shutting out the outer world and we're coming in contact with ourselves. And honestly, if you've been really busy in your life, if you've been working a lot and running here and there and taking care of kids or taking care of other people who need you, just running 100 miles an hour, when you close your eyes and begin to turn inward, you actually meet a stranger. And it can feel a little uncomfortable at first. So sometimes in the beginning, when you close your eyes, the anxiety of meeting that stranger or the anxiety of being tuned out from the outer world, which might be unusual for you, can kind of ramp up a little bit. The longer you can keep your eyes closed, the greater the chances of your stress level dropping, because your brain is making alpha waves whether you want it to or not. It's automatically doing that. This is the beauty of the mind-body connection. How we think influences our body, without a doubt, but also what we do to the body influences how we think. And it's so important to remember that, because a lot of times we're more focused on, oh, I need to think positively. I need to calm my thinking down. I need to, recite a million affirmations or whatever. All of that's great to really focus on how you take good care of your mind, how you manage your mind. But how you manage your body matters as well. That's why during times like this, getting outside into fresh air is so important. Closing your eyes and resting is so important. It's why sleep is so important. There's a lot of processing and healing and sort of cleaning up of the inner filing cabinets that happens when we sleep. So the downtime allows the body to relax, allows the body to calm down, and that actually calms the thinking down. So the first step of self-care, anytime at all, when you start to feel anxious or when you feel anxiety creeping up, close your eyes, stop where you are, sit down, breathe slowly through the nose. You can, maybe, if that feels good to you. But most importantly, just close your eyes and see if you can keep your eyes closed for a little bit longer and longer and longer as we go along, okay? And that will automatically help you to calm down a bit. I do that, I did that especially a couple of weeks ago when I would go to the grocery store and all the, lots of shelves were empty. And I felt like I just automatically plugged into this collective unconscious, the energy highway. And suddenly I was feeling the anxiety of everyone in the store, it felt like. But I just stopped, closed my eyes, even for a couple of minutes in the grocery store. And all of a sudden, that rush of anxiety just dissipated, and I felt a lot better. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to do is a mini tapping session with you. So again, we're going to timestamp this right now. Thank you, Terry. And then I'm just going to do a mini tapping session with you. I'm going to ask you to follow along with me. There's no perfect way to do this. The tapping is very forgiving and it works beautifully for a lot of people. I'm going to do a tapping session here. You'll be able to come back to this. You'll see exactly what time it starts. So anytime you feel anxious or panicked or scared or just, antsy, irritable, anxiety expresses itself in many ways, depressed, agitated, angry, and you don't understand why, anything like that, you can come back to this tapping session. Just go right to the time when this starts and follow along and do it again with me. So first, let me take a drink of water. And if you've got something to drink near you, do me a favor and hydrate yourself right now. It's also really important to drink more water than you think you need. That's another little tip, by the way. The minute you start to feel anxious, drink a glass of water. A lot of times anxiety is the body's way of alerting you to the fact that it's dehydrated. And when the body gets hydrated, the mind thinks better, thinks more clearly. Okay, so now we're going to start the tapping. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to tap for fear and anxiety. I have a few little tricks about that I'm going to use. This will be relevant to everybody. And you can feel free to, on your own, add little pieces that are more relevant to you specifically in regards to your anxiety or fear. But this sort of general one will work for people. I'm just looking over here at my notes. There's a few things I want to make sure I do. Okay, so here's how we're going to begin. Once again, I just want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to tune in to any fear or anxiety that you're experiencing. And don't worry, you're going to feel better in just a couple minutes. So the more we can bring the anxiety into the energy field, the more effective it is, it seems to be with the tapping, to calm it down and get it and move it out of the field. So close your eyes and just notice when you imagine whatever it is that just is making you frightened or anxious right now. When's this going to end? Am I going to be okay? Are my loved ones going to be okay? Am I going to be able to get food or water? Like whatever comes up for you in regards to the anxiety. Just tune into your anxious feelings, and on a scale from 1 to 10, I want you to rate your level of anxiety, with 1 being, I don't have much anxiety at all, and 10 being, it's off the charts, I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. And notice where you fall, what that number is. And again, put the number in the comment section here. Okay? So rate your anxiety from 1 to 10 and put the number in the comment section. Okay, great. Good. I see you all doing that. You're awesome. Thank you. Okay. So now we're going to do some tapping. And let's see, I'm going to do, how am I going to do this? I guess I'm going to do the full algorithm with you. So it's going to be, just so you know, side of the hand, eyes, side of the eye, under the nose, under the lip, the bottom lip, collarbone, under the arm, like where your bra would be if you're wearing one. A lot of you probably aren't these days, which is a good thing. Give those beautiful breasts of yours a chance to rest. And top of the head. So I'm going to do the full algorithm with you. You ready? So starting right here with the karate chop point, you can do either hand, doesn't matter. And just repeat after me. Even though I feel anxious about the coronavirus, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I feel so anxious about this time in our lives, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I feel really anxious and afraid, I choose to embrace these feelings. Even though I manufacture anxiety with my mind, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. And then go to the eyebrow spot. All this anxiety, side of the eye, all this fear, under the eye. I don't know when this is going to end. Nose, I don't know what's going to happen. I feel anxious. Chin, collarbone, all this fear and anxiety. Under the arm, all this fear and anxiety. Top of the head, I feel anxious and afraid. Then go back to the eyebrows point again. I don't know when this is going to end. I feel trapped in my home. I feel anxious about the virus. What if I get it? What if my loved ones get it? I just feel so much anxiety and fear. All this fear and anxiety. Top of the head, I feel anxious and afraid. Okay, and then close your eyes and take a breath. And with your eyes closed, I want you to once again tune in and rate your anxiety on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being not much at all and 10 being a lot. And when you have a number, go ahead and put it in the comment section. Let's see what's going on. Let's see how this worked for you. Okay. So let me just scroll down and see. Okay. Great. Let's post some numbers here. Okay. And also you can let me know. You can even type in the comments section down or up. Oh, there we go. Well, that's better. Thank you, Esther. 10 to a 4. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry that we should do it that way. Tell me the number you started with and then where you are. Okay, 3 to a 2. That's great. Good. Some people will stay the same. We're going to do more tapping. Okay. Good. All right, great. Down 2. Good. Okay, great. So let's continue. You ready? Again, we're going to go to the karate chop spot. Even though I manufacture anxiety with my thinking, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I manufacture anxiety with my thoughts, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I have all this tension in my body, I choose to release it now. Even though I carry all this fear and anxiety in my body, and it makes me anxious, I choose to remember I am safe. Okay, great. Let's go to the eyebrow. This tension in my body. Side of the eye, all this anxiety. Under the eye, I feel afraid. Under the nose, I just feel anxious. Chin, I feel out of control. Collarbone, I don't know what's going to happen. Under the arm, all this anxiety. Top of the head, I feel anxious and afraid. Okay, now stay with me. Go to the eyes. I love feeling anxious. Side of the eye, no, I don't. That's crazy. Under the eye, I love being afraid. It's so much fun. Under the nose, no, that's insane. I hate feeling anxious. Chin, I don't like feeling anxious. Collarbone, I manufacture anxiety. Under the arm, I am masterful at manufacturing anxiety. Top of the head, I could get a PhD in manufacturing anxiety. Go back to the eyebrow. And now I choose to get a PhD in manufacturing peace. Side of the eye, I'm really good at manufacturing peace. Under the eye, I love feeling peaceful and calm. Nose, I'm safe. Chin, I feel peaceful and calm. Collarbone, I love feeling peaceful and calm. Under the arm, I am masterful at manufacturing peace and calm. Top of the head, I have a PhD in manufacturing peace and calm. Okay, now close your eyes again. Take a deep breath. I know I feel calmer. And now tune in. And once again, tune into your stress level and notice what number, where your stress is at right now. And in the comments section, you can tell me where you started and where you are now. Let's see how that's doing. Okay. Okay, great. Yep, I see people going down. So, great. While you're doing that, let's do one more thing. Let's go to the karate chop spot. Once again, even though my anxiety isn't going away, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I still feel afraid, and even more afraid, I choose to manufacture peace. Even though I don't feel any calmer, I love myself anyway. Even though I still feel anxious, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Go to the eyebrow. I still have some anxiety. Side of the eye, I still have a lot of anxiety. Under the eye, I still feel afraid. Nose, what if this doesn't get better? Chin, I don't know how to be with my fear. Collarbone, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Under the arm, I choose to remember I am safe. Top of the head, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Then close your eyes. Take a breath. And once again, I want you to tune in and notice on a scale from 1 to 10, if the anxiety has moved or the fear has moved, if your body feels calmer. And again, you can post the number you started with and the number where you're at now. Yeah, Vincy says, I feel heavy, like all the stress went to my feet. Yeah, sometimes people will start to just feel sleepy. Some people start laughing. It's a good sign that the energy, the stressful energy is being released. Some people just start to feel a sense of, some people will say to me, I can't find the anxiety. I can't seem to access it in my head where, I can't kind of get where it was before. It's a good sign. It just means the brain is sort of shutting out. It's like shutting the doors to the fear and the anxiety. That's what the tapping, I find, does. Wow, Liz went from a 10 to a 2. That's awesome. And so did Deborah. You see, people, you can use this all the time. Yes, some people are saying, I feel like I could fall asleep. If this is working for you, and it works for a good percentage of the people, and those of you that still feel the anxiety or feel like it hasn't moved, please come back, go to the beginning of the tapping session and do it a few times. I promise you it will make a difference. Yeah, good. Sherry's smiling. And Chris went from a 3 to a 0. That's great. Anisha went from an 8.5 to a 1. Yeah, and Colleen says, actually, I'm not feeling anxious, but I feel like I could cry. That's the other thing, Colleen. Sometimes when we move beyond the fear and anxiety, when we're able to kind of calm that down and give ourselves a rest from the fear and anxiety, what the body naturally wants to do is cry, to just release the pent-up feelings that have been, to release the tension, actually. Crying is really good, Colleen. As a matter of fact, I would say you could stop right now, shut off Facebook, go ahead and have a good cry. You can come back and finish this up afterwards. But, crying is really important. I find myself, I don't know, I'll hear a story of somebody who's struggling and it'll just make me emotional, and I let myself sit down and have a cry because it just feels so good. It feels like it releases so much tension afterwards. So, yeah, several people are saying that. That's a good thing. Let yourself cry. And laughing does help too. Yes, that also happens. So, and yeah, Sheila says, I realized my inner child from World War II was reactivated. A lot of people right now are finding that old losses and old trauma comes up during this time, and that happens for a number of reasons. I've certainly said many times that when we experience a loss, and all of us are experiencing loss right now, a loss of freedom, a loss of routine, a loss of community and connection, these are big things. A loss of certainty, security, any kind of loss will bring up the pieces of other losses from the past that need more healing. Same thing with trauma. Pieces of trauma or trauma experiences that could use some more healing. So that's why I'm always saying Psychology Today, there's a lot of therapists doing Zoom therapy. I do the Zoom therapy with my therapist. I have for the last 2.5 years. And it's wonderful. I feel like he and I are together in the same room. It works. And I didn't believe it in the beginning. It actually works. So getting some good support in that way would be really helpful to you. And I'll see if if I come up with any good, it's hard for me to recommend a therapist because the minute I post it, they're going to get flooded with a whole bunch of people. So Psychology Today's Find a Therapist site is actually the best thing to do. The best place to go. Okay. Yeah, Lori says, now I've stopped crying and I'm kind of giggly. Yeah, that's, releasing energy is what the tapping does. So that's the second thing I wanted to do here today, was to just do a tapping session with you. I find the whole notion of manufacturing anxiety, tapping on that really helps. That was a little tip I got from Carol Look, who was a real expert in tapping. When I did tapping with her probably 10 years ago, while I was writing Stand Up for Your Life, and I was feeling anxious about my deadline, and she used that phrase with me, even though I manufacture anxiety. And boy, I could completely relate to it, and I've used it ever since, both personally and with people, and it's a very powerful thing to tap on. So that's tapping. So the first self-care tip was closing your eyes, causing the brain to create alpha waves so that you automatically calm down. The second was the tapping session that you see here. And then the third is an assignment. I have a little assignment for you this week. I'd like you to become a mayor of hope in your community. Now, this idea came from a coaching session I did with a friend of mine who was really struggling with anxiety. And she's somebody who has a natural gift of gab. She can talk to any stranger. She can instantly create a sense of warmth and connection with anyone she meets. It's a real gift of hers, and she's got a great sense of humor. And so I gave her the assignment to go outside 3 times a day to walk her neighborhood for at least 10 minutes and to engage with strangers and be a source of hope and humor for them. And it worked. She's been doing that, and I know there's a lot of people benefiting from it. So I'm going to give you that assignment in whatever way that you can do it, whether it's sharing good news with people, posting things, videos to laugh at. We've all seen them. Funny memes. I know that Beth Stern, who I follow on Instagram, who fosters cats and, runs this beautiful shelter essentially out of her home where she's adopting out cats, posted a funny graphic of the toilet being closed because there was no more toilet paper, and she put a litter box on the top of the toilet and asked people to use that and to be sure that they covered up afterwards. Just funny things like that. Being a source of humor and hope for people is your assignment. If you are out at a park, practicing good social distancing, but it's okay to wave, to smile, to be conscious of the good news that's happening. The cleaner waterway channels in Venice, a lot of us have heard about that. The dolphins that showed up there that haven't been there in years. Just this morning, I read a little piece about how the United States, the air over the United States is so much cleaner. And of course, a lot of us heard about China. That reminds me, there's a wonderful resource, Terry, we can put this in the resources, Optimist Daily. It's a daily newsletter that I subscribe to, I donate to every single month. They have lots of great news about what's happening. We'll put a link to that on here as well. And every night on Instagram, on my Instagram, the username is Coach on Call, I share one great thing that happened today. And I invite readers to share one great thing that happened to them. And just reading through the posts will give you a sense of hope and community and connection and sometimes humor, just really lovely stories. So however you can do that, whether it's sending, being focused on, don't spread the bad news. We all have enough of that. And people are checking the news enough as it is, more than they need to. Be a mayor of humor and hope. Let's just say a mayor of hope. And you can share humor, you can share good news, you can share one great thing that happened to you and invite others to share with you one great thing that happened to them. Be a mayor of hope for people, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna stop there and start to look through your comments to see if there are questions that you have or coaching that I can hopefully support you with. Heather says, beautiful tulips, by the way. Yes, right here. Are they the ones you brought from the florist? Yes. So my local florist, who I love, Jan Lowry, she's like a one-woman show. And so she happened to be able to get local tulips, and she's driving around delivering them. And so I said to her, great, tell me how many bunches I can get, And I sent some to friends, and I sent some to my mother-in-law. I would send them to my mom if she wasn't so far away. And I bought a bunch for the house here. And I don't know, there's nothing like fresh flowers to just make me feel a lot better. Okay. So if you have any questions or you need support in some way, so yes, let's see. So for people with sleep issues, I mentioned before Insight Timer. Terry, maybe we could add that to the list. Insight Timer is a free app that you can download on your phone. They have some wonderful sleep meditations. I've used them in the beginning when I would wake up in the middle of the night and couldn't go back to sleep. I would do a sleep meditation, and it made a big difference. That's one thing. Number two, if you can start to go to bed a little earlier and earlier, the wake-up hormones begin to kick in for most of us around midnight. So the later you go to sleep, the harder it is to stay asleep. So even 15 minutes earlier, keep bringing your going to bed time a little earlier, and that might help. If you're waking up in the middle of the night with thoughts racing in your head, you could leave the bedroom and maybe pick up the phone and do the tapping session that we just did. That might help. You can also do this, just tap the collarbone spot while you're in bed and repeat, even though I can't sleep, I love and accept myself anyway. Or actually do this, even though my mind is busy, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though my mind is busy, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. And just keep tapping. You can try that. Of course, caffeine, try to really limit that. Caffeine adds to anxiety, of course, everybody. Whether you think it does or not, it's actually stimulating the adrenal system. So if you are drinking caffeine, try to drink it earlier in the day. And also try to see if you can stop eating earlier in the evening. Because once again, if you're eating just before you go to bed, or if you wake up and eat, what you're doing is stimulating blood sugar in the body. And it's sort of lifting the body up at a time where you want it to be restful. So I hope that's helpful. For those of you that are feeling out of control, it's quite normal right now. So once again, you can tap, even though I feel out of control, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I feel so out of control, even though I feel trapped, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Just keep trying that. Yes, and even though the old trauma or the old loss of X, whatever it is for you, is up for me right now, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. You can keep repeating that as well, and that will help. Let's see. Yes, Sunshine says, what if you feel dizzy all the time due to anxiety? Will the tapping help? Without a doubt. Dizziness is a common symptom of anxiety, as is frequently going to the bathroom, dry mouth, some of these symptoms that we're not maybe aware of if you've never realized, if you've not experienced anxiety in this way. Dizziness, Sunshine, the minute the dizziness kicks in, I would drink a glass of water to make sure that the body is getting the hydration that it needs. Really important. And also just, sit down and close your eyes. Let your brain start making alpha waves. That will really help. Okay. Let me see what else we have here. Yeah, Gabriella says, I'm in France and the Mayor of Hope would be from 1.5 meter distance from the balcony. That's all right. Figure out a way to do it. Look at all the people that are singing from their balconies. I have some friends who, if they sang from their balcony, people would be laughing. They would just have the best time because some of them are just really goofy and funny. And so let's get creative. You are the Mayor of Hope. We need you right now. How are you going to do that? Maybe you can send letters or emails to people, excuse me, to people who wouldn't expect it. Or here's another idea. Maybe you can call friends who know your parents or know other friends and ask them to call your parents or to call other friends. Like, make connections between people so that somebody receives a call from someone that they didn't expect. And then it ends up being like really fun. Okay, let's see. Getting out and walking, of course, is so, so important. Oh, thank you for accepting the assignment of being a mayor of hope. This is great. I see lots of you are going to be doing that. That's wonderful. Awesome. Let's see. Philip says, can we talk about tapping for strengthening the immune system? What a great idea, Philip. Yes. First of all, I want you to know that just tapping to reduce anxiety automatically strengthens the immune system. Why? Because we have an emotional immune system. It's kind of an early line of defense. And when that emotional immune system is hyped up, when the adrenal system, it then causes the adrenal system cortisol levels to increase. And when cortisol levels increase and the body goes into fight, flight, or freeze, it's taking resources away from the physical immune system to support the immediate threat. So just the tapping that we did here, Philip, will absolutely calm the energy field down, calm the emotional immune system down, and that will actually, and we know this, there are scientific studies that show this tapping sequence that we did actually, or tapping itself in general, lowers cortisol levels. I mean, we know that. There's been plenty of studies that have shown, there are studies that have shown that cortisol levels decrease as a result. I mean, you can feel that in your body. If you're amped up and panicked, I mean, I've been with people having full-blown panic attacks, and I've gotten them to just tap with me, and sometimes I've just been right in front of them tapping for them, and I've watched them go from heightened fight, flight, or freeze to completely peaceful and calm just by tapping. So I know the cortisol levels are dropping in the body, which is great. Looking for ways to help coach my daughter, who's a senior in high school and is, of course, so upset about everything being canceled. I mean, that's the sad part. That's just, I know. Stacy, show her the tapping and actually have her go through it with you. That will not only help her in that moment, but this is a really beautiful tool to use with kids, to teach kids, even young kids. Young kids respond to this really, really well, and they think it's a game. They just sort of play it. They have a lot of fun with it. So I would definitely do that. And this is a time for us to teach. This is a time for us to build resilience muscles, to appreciate what we do have. I was thinking that this morning as I was walking around the house watering a few plants. I thought, wow, I'm so grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my flowers. I'm grateful for my, let's see, this light here came from a dear friend of mine who died in the early 90s, and she left me some of her antiques. And even when I was putting the light over here, I thought, oh, I'm so grateful for this lamp and the things that I have in my home that make me feel peaceful and calm and comforted. So helping Stacy, your daughter, to focus on what she feels grateful for. You can play the game. All right, let's each come up with 10 things we're grateful for and say them out loud one at a time. That helps to kind of shift her perspective, even just for the moment. Those of you who are energy absorbers, empathic, sensitive, it is imperative that you limit your news consumption. If you have a friend who isn't as affected by the state of the world as you are emotionally, ask them to keep you posted with only the news you need to know. For example, my assistant Lisa called me this morning and said, just want you to know that the governor has made an announcement that tomorrow all businesses that are non-essential should be shut down at noontime. Great. Now I knew what was going on. I knew what I needed to do to put some things in place, and I didn't have to run into other news that just I don't want to see as a sensitive person. So I think it's really important to limit your news intake, to stay well hydrated. I keep saying that, to get extra rest, to be willing to nap during the day. A lot of people have taken this time, especially people who are used to being busy, sort of plunged into this time being at home and use things like cleaning and projects to manage their anxiety. There's nothing wrong with that. Except eventually, there's nothing wrong with that. And Some people actually crash afterwards. All of a sudden, it's like, you just get tired, and you've got to pace yourself so that you rest and you do something. Yesterday, I was working on the weekly blog. Then I went and did some laundry. Then I just vegged in front of the TV and watched a documentary. Then I went back to working on the blog again, and then vacuumed my office, and then just hung out for a little bit, looking at the birds at the bird feeder. By the way, getting a bird feeder is also a really great thing to do. My wonderful assistant, Lisa, gave me a window bird feeder, and she has one in her office, and you can just attach it to a window. That'll really, birds don't know what's going on. Trees don't know what's going on. The squirrels in my yard are just doing their thing. They don't know what's going on. And when I look at them and I see the birds flying around, or I see the squirrels eating out of my feeder, which I'm happy for them to do, I think, there's a way that all is right with the world, even though it doesn't feel that way. And it certainly isn't that way in terms of how we're used to living. So, so Nikki, you need to really also limit your interactions on social media. Facebook is a wild, wild west. You never know what you're going to see in your timeline, right? Isn't that true? Same thing with Instagram. Twitter, all of them. Become a curator of peace. Let me write that down. Become a curator of peace, which means you are going to look for things that make you feel peaceful and calm, and you're going to begin to eliminate things. There's a few things on my Instagram feed that I just stopped following because the risk of seeing things that upset me was too high. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to be a curator of peace. And that's what I want for you. So Nikki, you want to really, really pay attention to that. Melanie says a positive thing about what's happening is that Mother Earth is healing with less car exhaust and airplane fumes. That's so true. Let me see. Yeah, so Judy says, I feel pressure in my chest and have trouble taking in deep breaths. I'm not sick, but I recently had a panic attack with symptoms like this. What can I do? Yes. So Judy, that's what panic feels like. What we start to do when we're panicking is we start breathing high in the chest. As a matter of fact, if all of us started doing that rapidly for a while, we'd start to increase cortisol levels in the body. So here's the thing, Judy. First of all, close your eyes, because your brain's going to start making alpha waves, whether you direct it to or not. And then if you can slowly breathe in through your nose and make sure, I'm looking down, make sure that you can feel your belly moving out. So bring your breath all the way down to your belly so that your chest is the last place to expand, and then go like this. Breathe out, pursing your lips. So in through the nose, so that the belly expands and it moves up into the chest expands, and then you breathe out, pursing your lips. That forces you to breathe out more slowly, and I can feel it already. Automatically, Judy, the body will start to calm down. If you have someone in the home with you, if you're living with someone, ask them to remind you of this, because when we get panicky, we forget. And we think, we start grasping for breath, and it just contributes to the panic. So breathe in slowly through the nose, all the way down to the belly, and then out, pursing the lips very, very slowly. And that just, if you were to imagine yourself as a giant thermometer and the red line is up here because your cortisol levels are elevated, just breathing like that will automatically begin to bring that red line of cortisol down, and you'll start to feel better. Okay. Crying is a good thing, people. Remember that. It releases it releases energy, which is a good thing. Thank you, Signe, who's been teaching tapping since 2008, says the point under the arm is to support the immune system. Great. So then maybe you want to just tap there, and you can be saying, even though I'm afraid, you could say, even though I feel tired, I choose to believe that my immune system, let's do it this way. Even though I feel anxious, I choose to feel peaceful and calm, but tapping that spot will also help to strengthen the immune system. That's great. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're all accepting the assignment of being a mayor of hope. Let's see. People limiting news, which is great, helping out neighbors. We have a local Facebook group here where I live, and some people have needed toilet paper, some people have needed food, some people's elderly parents live here, but they're 2 hours away, and neighbors are visiting them using proper social distancing. There's just, the amount of love that's out there. This is why being a mayor of hope means you want to share this kind of good news with people. Let's see. Yeah, Carol's set up a texting chain with other single or widows to check in every day. That's beautiful. I love that. Lots of great example and advice here online. So please be sure to go back and look through these comments. I have really, really smart people in my community, really loving, caring, smart people who share lots of good information. So yeah, I'm just looking to see before we wrap up here if there are any other questions. Okay, I think good. I'm glad the breathing tip helped, Susan. Great. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here. I've been here for, longer than I expected. I like to try and keep them short, but we'll have the timeline set up so you'll be able to find the tapping. You'll be able to find the resources will be listed here, the things we talked about. And I'll be back here again as well. If you're not subscribed to my weekly blog, please go to CherylRichardson.com and subscribe, because I'll announce when I'm going to be on. And yeah, in the meantime, take good care of yourself. Remember the tapping. Remember the closing your eyes. And be a beautiful mayor of hope, please. All right? Tell us what you're doing. You can even, in the comments section, let us know what happens as you become this wonderful mayor of hope for the world. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here with me. And I will look forward to talking with you again real soon. Take care. Bye.